Well, we're back in Zigzag Pass again, which is crosses Bataan Peninsula there, and a lot of heavy fighting. We had a hard time breaching it because the Japs had 2.5 years to reinforce it, and they had all the artillery dug in caves and everything of that nature. And but anyhow, someone decided maybe we could hit them from the rear, but we had to go up a high mountain to get on the other side. And halfway up the mountain was these little people they claimed to run around with blowguns, and the Japs tried to go up there, and the regular Filipino people ain't allowed to go up there because they get so close, they get zipped, and when that dart hits you, you're gone. So it was very deadly stuff. So no one could go up there. They killed the Japs, they killed the regular Filipinos. They lived up there by themselves, but you had to get through them to get on the other side of the mountain to get down so we could bring some pressure on the back side of Zigzag Pass. So we'd go down there, and they sent an infantry battalion. And he said anytime you send a chaplain with a battalion, that's about 3 rifle companies and a chaplain. He should be in a regiment, you know, with 12 or 13 rifle companies. But anyway, it wasn't going to be good. Anyhow, they called us there one evening and said, hey, I'll throw everything away you got. The only thing you're going to carry on your personal property is one spoon you stick out in your combat boot. All envelopes, papers, ID stuff, put it in a master bag, and it'll all be kept here to give it to you after we see you and later on. The only thing you're going to have on you is a spoon stuck in your combat boot. You're going to have a heavy pack, going to carry stuff on a heavy pack on your back, which ended up being lots of ammunition and your basic arm. Now he said, we're going through these places up here. We've negotiated a deal with these people. They're sort of a wild tribe that's lived up on that side, way up in that mountain, and they don't use nothing but blowguns, where they put a little dart in there and they go, and when that dart hits you, you're going to la-la because it's got bad poison in it. So they said, we negotiated this deal that they're going to allow us to pass through because the Japs come up there and tried to whack them, and they even beat the hell out of the Japs, so they left them alone. But no one goes up there, but somehow they negotiated the deal. They're going to let us go through their area to get down on the other side of the mountain. So we're in the Japs' backyard over there. A reinforced battalion. We were supposed to go over there and chew them up, which worked just the way we're the ones got chewed up. Long story short, anyhow, going up through that, put them big packs on us and going up that long mountain. I'll never forget how heavy it was and how long it was even to get up to that area where the little folks were. They were about this high, maybe like that. They didn't wear any clothes, most of them, and running up along beside of you looking at you and get around and look at you. And I didn't see them with no guns or nothing. They just said, don't give them no candy, no cigarettes, don't even look at it. Just look that way or look up that way. Just keep going. So we got through the wild people. They didn't bother us. But I tell you, by the time we got on the other side of them, by the time we got up the top of that mountain, you know, wasn't anything left of us carrying all that ammo in your arm and everything. You was really shot. Anyhow, we got up there. Long story short, we was trying to break away so we could get through Zigzag Pass. Was on the back side of it now. And we were supposed to harass the enemy. It turned out the American Army was harassed because there wasn't enough of us, and they was after us all the time. We spent most of our time trying to evade being slaughtered. And I remember one time we was running down this road, and chaplain was there. This chaplain was all our chaplains carried firearms too. They always carried carbines, so they may not. Some of them you might say might carry arms. All the only chaplains I knew all carried firearms where we were. Anyway, we come down there, and this 3 of us sergeants come up there because we was waiting for someone to tell us what to do with our people, because you couldn't find any officer And once this one lieutenant come over there right quick, and he was a chaplain, and he said, "Sit down, I got to talk to you right quick. Sincere belief in no mortality, sin belief in personal prayer, and sincere belief in God's final victory over the earth." And he told me that right quick, and three of us. And this officer come, I don't know who he was, some lieutenant, and said, "Take your people and spread them down through there. There's a big draw down through there." So I got my platoon. We went down there. There was a long, big ditch with big weeds in it. Hell, it must have been 6 feet deep. No water in it. So why dig when you can get down there? So I put 30-some people down this long ditch. Then come another group in behind me with a big lieutenant, big tall lieutenant. And somehow he went up on the higher ground. And he was about from here to the other side of the highway here from us. And they started digging because it was getting near dark. And we was in their backyard. Well, when they started the digging, just turning dark, here come 2 tanks in on us. Had them blue lights on. It was getting dark. They looked like American tanks. And they turned around, and the one headed up where that lieutenant was digging about, not from here to the highway, halfway distance, and put that big tube, rifle tube on that tank right at him. And the other tank pulled right in behind him. I could touch a tread on that tank. But in the movies, you always have that can of gasoline and everything you can throw on them. But in real life, nothing happened. Well, anyway, the guy in the front tank opened the hatch, stood up, and it wasn't American, it was a Jap. It was an American tank. And the Jap told the lieutenant to surrender to the Imperial Japanese forces. I remember the words real clear. And this lieutenant was about your size, big, tall, thin guy, real big, tall guy. Named Lee Con, I think, Lee Con. And the lieutenant says, "What the hell for?" And he put that M1 up and shot this Jap. He fell back down the tank. Well, then both tanks pulverized that hillside, point blank with a cannon and machine gun. Of course, we were in the ditch behind them. We fired our bazookas and everything, but the bazookas we hit them, but they wouldn't detonate. They told us later we'd been in so much rain, 6 months rain, he says, and it was soaked and whatever, they didn't fire. We've hit them, fired every one we had. We hit them, but nothing happened. Well, if you keep firing, they're going to be running down and maybe run up your ditch line, or so. We had everything we could to stop them tanks, but we didn't have enough to stop them. Both these tanks whirled around with them blue lights on them. Some of them got shot the blue lights off of them, but had a couple lights. They went right back. They didn't follow through with Jap infantry like they should, because the whole Japanese army was moving to the north. We expected to be annihilated, but they never came. And in the morning, the lieutenant called me on the radio out of SCR 536. Now, SCR means Signal Corps Radio. It's a little thing about carton of cigarette size. It's good for about a mile on straight terror. Said, take your people over there and bury them, and get their dog tags. The chaplain will be down soon. I got my platoon out of the ditch, put a few to watch, see if anybody was coming, and lined them all up. I think we had 11 bodies. And I took a dog tag, take one dog tag and leave one there. And the lieutenant that said, "What the hell for?" I remember he died with his glasses hanging down off the ear like that. And he was a big, tall, about your size, big, tall guy. His name was Lecon or Lacon or something like that. I remember when I stretched him out and had a guy help me. I rolled him in his poncho. I went in, take one of the dog tags, break it, and leave the other one in there. And put the dog tag in my pocket. And we had, I think it was 9 dog tags, and 2 didn't have dog tags. I don't know. They must have been laborers, or Philip laborers, or Korean laborers or something. They didn't have any dog tags on, whatever. They had like American uniform, but no dog tag. And we had to mark them where they were. And that afternoon, what saved our life, we were getting ready to attack another position, and all at once, a guy was waiting for him their last big round. We was looking for the red smoke. That means when you jump up and get them while they're supposed to be stunned. You got to get up there right quick.